Some time ago, Linus Tech Tips company, Linus Media Group, got accused by an individual of doing a lot of bad things. Some worse than others, you can probably fill in the blanks. And at that time when it happened, it did not seem honestly that serious, it did not seem that substantial. But lo and behold, Linus is finally giving us the answer to the investigation that he says is gonna happen. And well, for the people who did not believe that nothing bad happened, this is not gonna clear anything up. And for the people that are supportive of Linus no matter what he does or how badly he does it, this is gonna be amazing. But honestly, from a position of someone who literally could not care less, this reads not well at all, and we're gonna go through it. So, there was a series of accusations about our company last August from a former employee. Immediately following these accusations, Linus Media Group hired Roper Greyel, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, a large Vancouver-based law firm specializing in labor and employment laws to conduct a third-party investigation. So here's the first part that people are absolutely just not understanding. When you say third party, when anyone says third party, especially when companies say, oh, this is a third party investigation, one, that does not mean that it's conducted by the government. There are situations where it can be conducted by a government, but this is not such a case. A third party in this situation means that Linus Media Group went and hired a bunch of lawyers who, by the way, if you go to their own website, literally specialize in suing companies for stuff like wrongful terminations and protecting companies from people who want to sue them for breach of contract, labor laws, and similar types of stuff. So effectively, third party in this situation very blatantly means Linus Media Group hired a bunch of lawyers to vindicate them from any wrongdoings. So this is the first thing that doesn't really read well here, because that's what it means. When someone tries to use the term third party, they are typically trying to obfuscate what's happening there and make it seem more legit when it is. We have already seen a bunch of famous individuals, a bunch of influencer companies do this sort of stuff. The last time I remember we saw this was during the OTK drama, where they hired a third party to investigate what happened, and then that third party in very complex language stated, I forgot what word they used, but effectively to rephrase it in the common language, well, there's no videotape evidence or confessions that this happened by anyone, so I guess it's all fine, and OTK did nothing wrong in the Mizkiff situation in that one. Now, admittedly, this does read a little bit better than that, but still, this honestly does not seem great. Just from this response, yeah, it does not seem great. Moving on, their website describes them as one of the largest employment and labor law firms in Western Canada. So first of all, them describing themselves as the best in the world doesn't really honestly matter at all. You're just effectively now saying, yeah, we hired people who are good at proving the points that you want to prove. They worked with both private and public sector employers. Okay, doesn't change anything. Does not really necessary information. You're kind of just glamorizing the company for no reason, just to make some people believe that they are more legit than they are. To ensure a fair investigation, Linus Media Group did not comment or publicly release any data and asked our team members to do the same, which is technically a reasonable thing, but keep in mind, this is not actually mandatory. You can release any information during whatever is happening here, because this is not a governmentally backed court order thing. You can do whatever you want. You just hired a bunch of lawyers to do whatever you paid them to do. And the key word here is paid them to do. So this is not some kind of magical mandatory thing. But it does make sense because you don't want to muddy the waters unnecessarily and things like that. That just typically would make things worse for everyone involved, honestly. So this is kind of understandable. Now that the investigation is complete, though, we're about to provide a summary of the findings. And this is the one that gets me. OTK did the exact same thing under Asmongold. They said they're gonna release the investigation. They said that everyone's gonna be able to find out what the truth was and so on. And at the end, they don't do anything. They just give a random summary without providing a single shred of proof. Effectively, just because they have done this, this is worse than a YouTuber just, destroying accusations through showing receipts from text conversations by screenshots. Yeah, this is effectively worse because of that. Because now the investigation is over and they're just effectively saying, hey, we're afraid to actually give you all of the evidence that we have collected, so here's a summary instead. Yeah, not great. This is definitely kind of a red flag. The investigation found that claims of bullying and harassment were not substantiated. Substantiated just means not confirmed, by the way. Substantiated and substantial, close words, but not the same. Allegations of sexual harassment were ignored and not addressed were false. And here is the big thing. This is all corporate lawyer speak. Well, even this, honestly, is they're just blatantly trying to create an appeal to authority and manipulate through that. But sentences like this mean nothing. You need to understand. Again, Linus Media Group paid a bunch of lawyers to find whatever truth that they want to find. Now, I need to make a distinction here. Did these lawyers lie at any point? No. They have done everything most likely 120% by the book, no lies, no anything, but not upholding the spirit of the law. AKA, while they did everything truthfully and so on, they have the ability to twist almost anything in a situation like this because they are the judge, the jury, and the executioner in this case to a certain degree. So, let's look at this. What does it mean in the first place? Claims of bullying and harassment were not substantiated. Well, how do you substantiate that? We don't actually, honestly, know. We have no idea what kind of criteria these people use to substantiate something. For example, if you see someone getting hit in the face, you can easily substantiate that no one was hit in the face because the person who got hit in the face wasn't actually, too bothered by it. And say, since the person was not bothered by it, well, no one actually got hit in the face. We could easily say, stupid things like this actually are legit in this case. I know the example is stupid, but the example is meant to be stupid just to show how easily you can twist things like this. Because they get to choose what is substantiable here and what is not. So they have literally blatant opportunity to ignore some certain evidence because it doesn't fall into a specific category that they designed, or, ignore something or do things like that. Allegations that S harassment were ignored or not addressed were false. This is even funnier because how is this 100% truthful? Well, if someone just marks an email read, doesn't even read it, but just marks read, of someone saying, oh, I just got S'd here, or odd here, pick one, I don't know, doesn't matter. That would constitute as not ignored and addressed, because you clicked the email read. You didn't even read it, but that means it wasn't ignored. Okay? Ignored means literally you just saw that something like that was, and then you did nothing with it. Clicking read means it was not ignored. Yes, this is the game that we're honestly playing here, and that's why this whole thing seems kind of bad. Any concerns that were raised were investigated. Again, clicking just read means investigated. You can't also, it's almost blatantly impossible without a court of law to prove that claims were not investigated. Because investigated also in this case, which most likely I'm assuming they did go in, was, HR, by the way, who is Linus's wife. Yeah, the person in charge of HR who would look at these complaints is Linus's wife. So, you can imagine how well that probably went. So, investigated claims can easily be as, hey, do you think this is true? Nah, I don't think these people would do that. Bam. Investigated. And it's true. By the letter of the law, it's true. By the spirit of the law, well, you understand how bad that is. Furthermore, then this is the best part. Furthermore, from reviewing our history, the investigator is confident that in any other that if any other concern had been raised, we would have investigated them. Now, this sentence is just pure stupidity. This is effectively saying, the same as saying, I couldn't have killed this person. I have never killed anyone before. Yeah, that's literally the same sentence. Yeah, you see why this doesn't kind of look good? Everything here is very duplicitous and kind of like, we're trying really, really hard to appear completely fine. And the funniest part, again, when this all happened, it didn't seem like such a big deal. There was no evidence of abuse of power. Now, the fact that they air quote abuse of power means that they can actually imply a very interesting definition of this, because that's what air quotes do. They imply something specific. Or retaliation. The individuals involved may not have agreed with our decisions or performance feedback, but our actions were for legitimate work-related purposes and our business reasons were valid. Yeah, I mean, if you say so, I guess that is. In truth, in a court of law, this would be decided by a bunch of people sitting there and listening from evidence from one side and the other. So, are the people who you are paying to find you not guilty gonna take your side? Well, I guess so. So this in general is, again, this is literally a nothing sentence. Allegations of process errors and miscommunications while onboarding this individual were particularly substantiated. So they are taking a little bit of the blame here, but the investigators found ample documentary evidence of Linus Media Group working to rectify this error and the individual being treated generously and respectfully. When they had questions, they were responded to and addressed. So this is a very interesting sentence, sentences, especially if you contextualize it, what they have stated here, with something, for example, here, any concerns that were raised were investigated. Blah, blah, blah. So here, if you would notice what they did, they are actually providing legitimate evidence. Oh, something went wrong. We have actual documented evidence, emails, all of this type of stuff that we did try to make things better. This is what a statement actually should look like if you do have evidence to support that, you're in the right. And in this case, they literally say, we have ample documentary evidence of us working to rectify these errors, which I actually believe they did. But you see, why do they not provide ample documentary evidence of Linus Media Group doing the same, for example, in, anything else? For example, when HR did something, this part right here, any concern that were raised were investigated. Furthermore, from a review of our history, again, where is the ample evidence that you actually looked into the allegations? They're not saying that there is ample evidence of them actually looking in these allegations. And considering they are saying here that, well, there's ample evidence that we did everything right here, but in other cases where they say, oh yeah, we looked into this bullying stuff and it's all bull, they're not saying that they have ample evidence of documentary or anything. So this kind of makes me believe that there's no evidence of them even doing anything, that there's no emails or anything like that. Maybe there's one email or something like that. In summary, as confirmed by the investigation, I don't know what is actually confirmed by the investigation. This is effectively Linus Tech Tips investigates Linus Tech Tips. Linus Tech Tips finds out that Linus Tech Tips is not responsible for anything. The allegations made against the team were largely unfounded, misleading, and unfair. Unfounded, okay, that's fine. That's what happens when something's wrong. Unfair, okay, maybe some of them were a little bit too much. But misleading? I mean, where do you actually show us that anything here was misleading? You just deny it. The word misleading here doesn't fit in at all, honestly. With all of that said, in the spirit of ongoing improvement, the investigators shared their general recommendations that the fast-growing workplace should invest in continuing professional development. The investigation encourages us to provide further training to our teams about how to raise concerns to reinforce our existing workplace policies. This is just effectively saying, hey, we did nothing wrong, but we're gonna make ourselves better still for some reason. We did nothing wrong and everything is fine, but for some reason we are gonna try and make ourselves better? Question mark? Prior to receiving this report, Linus Media Group solicited anonymous feedback from the team in an effort to ensure there was no unreported bullying and harassment, and hosted a training session which reiterated that our workplace policies reinforced our reporting structure. Linus Media Group will continue to assess ongoing continuing education of our team. So, anyone who has ever worked in their life in a company probably can recognize this as, oh my god, they know, no one else came forward and said bad things about them. Yeah, because everyone wants to keep their job. As everyone knows, anonymous complaints are not actually anonymous. Well, they are. You don't need to write your name. But someone's gonna figure out sooner or later who the hell you are. Who actually wrote the complaint. And then something maybe is gonna be done. So, yeah, no other person putting in anything in a case this week to begin with, that's not surprising. And, that's to be expected because people want to keep their jobs. At this time, we feel our case for defamation suit would be very strong. And this is the one that people really got riled up about. At this point, we feel our case for defamation suit would be very strong. I really don't think so. Then again, I'm not a lawyer, but again, a rando woman makes minor allegations, nothing really happens. They're not gonna win a defamation suit like this. Unless they literally lost millions of subscribers in that point, I don't think that's happening. I think more damage was done to them when Linus reviewed the product, put it on the wrong thing, called it shit, said, oh yeah, actually this goes on a different thing, but I don't care, I'm Linus Tech Tips, I do what I want. Product complete trash, even though we did not even try to use it properly. We failed, but who cares? We're Linus Tech Tips, baby. Yeah. So I think that probably did 100 billion times more damage than whatever that woman did. However, our deepest wish is to simply put all this behind us, which is kind of hard to believe. This sounds more like a threat, honestly, than anything else, because if you want to put all of this behind, why the hell would you mention that your defamation lawsuit case in this case is super strong and whatnot? Yeah, kind of a head scratcher, isn't it? We hope that this will be the case. Given the investigators' clear findings that the allegations made online were misrepresentations of what actually occurred. And now they're saying that these allegations are misrepresentations of what actually happened. Now, this strange word choice, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything that bad. It's almost the same as they used. Where did they use this? I can't find. Oh yeah, unfounded, misleading, and unfair. This is almost the same exact thing. There's no, strange word choice, but not necessarily anything too bad in my opinion. We, given the investigations, blah 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 blah, we made online actually occurred. We will continue to assess if there is persistent reputational damage of future defamation. I don't understand this. So if this turns out bad because of what they now wrote, because everyone has figured everyone had forgotten about the situation, will they then sue her? Because yeah, it doesn't work like this, obviously. And the fact that they are willing to sue her and just, kind of... Dude, if you're gonna sue someone, do it silently. Not like a veiled threat. Oh, if you dare to say anything again, after our one-sided investigation by the people we hired to find out that we're not guilty, because that's what that firm does. If they didn't do that, then they would, not do that. Honestly, you know what I would say that they need to do? Put the shoe on the other foot. If stuff like this happens, how about not the big company hire the people, but give money to the person who is the small one, and that person gets to hire the legal team to investigate stuff. I want to see what happens then. Because again, third-party investigation, my ass. It's not real, it's just you paid a bunch of people to find out the outcome that you wanted them to find out. Okay? That's how it goes, obviously. We will... Okay. This doesn't mean our company is perfect and our journey is over. We are continually learning and trying to do better. Thank you all for being part of our community. Very nice. A bunch of comments. Nothing too fun. But yeah, the fact that people think third-party a lot of people are saying this. Third-party investigations from the government. Linus Tech Tips could not pay them off. No, it's Linus Tech Tips just hiring a bunch of lawyers to do with what they want them to do. So yeah, third-party investigation. Sure. Okay, well, technically it's completely factually true. It is a third-party investigation, but it's not an unbiased party. In any case, this is one hell of a post to give. A lot of nothings, this just reads bad. Honestly, I completely forgot that this happened until this was dropped, and I think most people did, because the allegations in the first place were not honestly that big of a deal. They kind of seemed like minor and whatnot, and now you're doing all of this while saying, oh, we're gonna show you the truth, while not showing us anything, just giving a summary. And the worst part is, some people are buying it, as much as I understand. Oh, they gave us a summary of what happened. How dare you not believe them? I can also give you a summary of what happened. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. Damn. Anyway, interesting situation. Kind of funny. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sid saying thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.